26, and 28 at 7 p.m. So round up your crew, bring your flags, and come to Rally with the men in maroon. Get your tickets now at WestIndiesCricket.com. Physical tickets would be available at the Oval Box office from July 21st.
Y'all ready for this?
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? The game is about to change. Sports betting and iGaming like you've never seen it before. Coming soon. Powered by BetCage Sports. The action, the odds, the thrill. Bet the way you want. Anytime, anywhere. Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, because BetCage Sports is bringing the heat. The heat is on. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and older to play. The heat is on.
Diamond Security Systems presently has a vacancy for an alarm and CCTV service technician. Must have a valid driver's license. For further information, please contact 465-7544.
Attention shoppers! Attention builders!
It's happening now at Builders Paradise!
Everyday low prices just got lower. That's right. Pay just 13% VAT or take a 4% VAT discount off or already unbeatable everyday low prices. Whether you're building, renovating, or upgrading, now's the time to stock up and save big on everything you need. Why wait? These savings won't last forever. Head to Builders Paradise today and experience even lower prices on everything you love. Builders Paradise, where low prices just got lower. Don't miss out. Shop now!
It's 7:40 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. This is SKN Today on a Wednesday morning. I just want to say good morning to all of you who are tuned in to Freedom FM. This is what we do on Wednesdays right here on SKN Today. So as usual, we are scheduled to have TDC Talks today. I assume that we're going to speak a lot about the launch, the upcoming launch of the Mega Rewards, the renewed Mega Rewards program. So we're going to speak about that this morning. And then at 8:30, we will have Dr. Natalie Osborne here with us, and we'll be speaking about the health benefits of being abstinent. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening here this morning. But before we do that, as usual, we'll bring you the gospel selections, and this one is Be Blessed.
Too many storms have passed your way, and you're all washed out, 'cause it rained on your parade. Seems nobody cares about you anyway. Now you're living your life like a castaway. Search for strength inside. Was it all in vain? 'Cause the deeper you dig, you find more and more pain. Don't let your tomorrow be like yesterday, 'cause I spoke to God, I called out your name, and on your behalf, I just asked if he would be there for you. I want you to be blessed. Don't live life in distress. Just let go, let God. He'll work it out for you. Never have to live a lie, never have to wonder why, never want for nothing. You're always satisfied in the peace that his arms will provide. He will erase any guilt or shame, any bad habit you got. You won't want to do them again. Yes, we all can change. I can testify. See, I spoke to God. I called out your name. And on your behalf, I just asked if he would be there for you. I want you to be blessed. Don't stress out. No, 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 no. He'll work it out. Yes, he will. For you. My prayer for you today is that your soul will be blessed forever in the rest of life. You deserve the rest of life, nothing less. Oh, my prayer for you today is that you trust and always obey. Always make me on this day, keep calling. He'll keep you from falling. He'll keep you from falling. He'll supply the end. Yes, he will if you stand in faith and trust him to make a way out of no other. Be blessed. Stop stressing about it. Just turn it over. Turn it over. Turn it over. Work it out for you. I pray that your soul will be blessed, so that you can sleep in the rest of your day. You deserve it. You've been through so much. Be blessed from the bottom of your feet to the crown of your head. Your life be blessed. Your family be blessed. Your finances be blessed. Everything about you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Give it to Jesus. Give it to Jesus. Let go, let go, let go. And let God do a work in you, in you, in you, in you. Oh, be blessed. Oh, be blessed. Whatever you're going through, just know I'm praying for you. Be blessed. Oh, be blessed. He can change your situation in a minute. Just be blessed. Don't do anything that God would not have you to do. Be blessed. I know it ain't what you want right now, but it sure could be a lot worse. Just be blessed.
Whispers linger, they carve through the night. Echoes of choices that dimmed my light. Lost in shadows, my mind's a maze. Running from silence through endless haze. A weight on my chest, it pulls me below. A storm in my soul where no calm will show. I built these walls, but they're crumbling thin. A quiet scream buried deep within. My soul cries out like wings bound in pain, yearning for freedom to feel whole again. Oh Savior, hear me, I'm lost in this fight. Bring your calm to my chaos, your peace to my night. The mirror reflects a face I don't know, a world full of noise where I can't let go. I'm chasing love that never remains in a fleeting world of heartbreak and chains. The silence is heavy, but I feel you near. A whisper of grace dissolves my fear. I've wandered so far, yet you hold me still. Through fire and ashes, you bend my will. My soul cries out like rain on dry ground, longing for healing where grace can be found. Oh Savior, hold me, I'm breaking inside. Bring your calm to my chaos, your peace to my night. If I fall, will you catch me? If I cry, will you stay? In the stillness, you're calling my fears away. Take this heart, make it whole. Take this pain, let it cease. In your arms forever, I'll find my peace. My soul cries out like a child seeking home, yearning for shelter where I'm not alone. Oh Savior, guide me, I'm ready to trust. Bring your calm to my chaos, your light to my dust. Fade the shadows depart. Your love's a melody that mends my heart. No longer searching, I found my way. In your endless peace is where I'll stay. Oh, oh, oh no, what have I done? The weight of my sins, they weigh a ton. I'm crying out, I'm on my knees. Lord, won't you come? Won't you set me free? I've been running wild, chasing the night, breaking every rule, thinking it's right. Hurt the ones I love, push them away. Now I'm drowning in the mess I made. I thought I was strong, thought I was a king, but my crown's made of shame, and it cuts deep within. I'm looking in the mirror, I don't like what I see. A man lost in darkness, begging to be free. Fix me, heal me, take this pain away. I'm broken, I'm shattered, I've gone astray. Forgive me, cleanse me, wash my sins today. Fix me, I'm lost in my way. I hear the whispers, they're haunting my soul. The shadows of my past, they don't let me go. I tried to outrun it, but the truth's too fast. The scars of my choices, they're built to last. I've hurt so many hearts, left them to bleed. Now I'm the one crying, begging on my knees. I need redemption, I need a new start. Take these chains off, free my heavy heart. Fix me, heal me, take this pain away. I'm broken, I'm shattered, I've gone astray. Forgive me, cleanse me, wash my You don't know what you've lost till you're standing in the silence all alone. I had a good thing, I let it slip away. Traded gold for momentary pleasure. Now I gotta pay. She gave me her trust, I threw it to the wind. Now the mirror shows a man I don't wanna see again. I thought I was strong, I thought I was right, but the truth hit hard in the middle of the night. Now I'm talking to the ceiling, praying to the sky, begging for a reason, trying to understand why. Why did I do it? Why did I lie? Why did I break a heart that only loved mine? Was it pride? Was it pain? Was it fear in disguise? Now I'm drowning in the echoes of goodbye. Why did I do it when I had everything? She said, "You're my future." I made her cry. Now I'm stuck replaying every tear I let to slide. Could have been a king with the queen by my side, but I let the devil in, and now I'm asking why. Now it's cold in this house, no laughter, no flame, just me and the memory of who's to blame. I should have held on, I should have stood tall, but I built up my pride and let all fall. Why did I do it? Why did I cheat? Why trade the real for the thrill of deceit? Was it lust? Was it ego? Was it just a weak mind? Now I'm haunted by the truth I can't rewind. Why did I do it when she believed in me? If I could turn back time, I'd hold her tighter, put down the pride and be a fighter, for love, for trust, for the life we dream. But now I'm stuck in the
I was lost in the darkness, couldn't see the light, bound by my chains, living wrong instead of right. But in the silence, I heard a gentle call, a voice so sweet, it broke down every wall. Now I'm standing in the fire, but I feel no pain. His mercy surrounds me like the falling rain. God's mercy never fails, even when I fall. He lifts me from the ashes, answers every call. His love is everlasting, His grace will prevail. my sorrow, lost in my mistakes, carrying the burden of a heart that breaks. But then his love reached down, pulled me from the deep. Now my soul is free, and I found my peace. Now I'm walking in his promise, where the light remains, covered by his mercy, free from all my chains. God's mercy never fails, even when I fall. He lifts me from the ashes, answers every call. His love is everlasting, his grace will prevail. Through every storm I faced, God's mercy never fails. Every tear I've cried, he's counted them all high. He's counted them all. Every time I stumble, he answered my call. Through the darkest valley, he was by my side. Now I sing his praises with arms open wide. God's mercy never fails, even when I fall. He lifts me from the ashes, answers every call. His love is everlasting, his grace will prevail. Through every storm I face, God's mercy never fails. Oh, his mercy never fails. Through the fire, through the rain, he prevails. I'm a witness to his love, I'll forever tell. God's mercy never fails, his love will never fail.
God will break you to position you, break you to promote you, and break you to put you in your right place. But when he breaks you, he doesn't hurt you. When he breaks you, he doesn't destroy you. He does it with grace. Ah! Anybody been gracefully broken where? Ooh! Thank you, Lord. Thank you. So, Father, tonight we're broken before you. Thank you for handling us with grace. Woo! Just lift your worship right there in this moment. All I have in these hands and multiply, God, all that I am, and find my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire, set me on fire. Come on, sing. Take all I have in these hands and multiply, God, God, all that I am, and find my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire. Ask him to set me on fire. Here I am, God, arms wide
the power at work in me. This is Tasha Cobbs. Gracefully Broken. So we're going to take a break from the music at this point in time. We're not going to have TDC Talks this morning. They are very busy ensuring that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed for tomorrow's launch to make the Mega Rewards program bigger and better. That launch will be aired right here on Freedom FM tomorrow afternoon. So be sure to stick with us, not just for SKN today, but throughout the day. And you'll learn more about the launch tomorrow. So we are going to now bring you a message by Sarah Jakes Roberts, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. Okay, let's see what's happening before we bring that to you, and we'll be right back.
I've been running for so long, but now I've lost control. The shadows of my failures haunt me every night, but I'm reaching for your mercy, I'm longing for your light. Oh, I'm broken, torn apart, but I know you mend the hardest heart. If this is my last prayer, Lord, take it all. I lay my burdens down, I'm answering your call. Forgive my sins.
So it's 8:10, and sometimes in radio you just have to pivot, because I just announced that we are not having TDC Talks this morning, but the time worked well because we are now joined by a Mr. Naim Richardson. So last week, a young man by the name of Javid Allen reached out to me about a movie produced here in St. Kitts, and he asked, for a feature, and we were happy to feature this because, again, it's a movie produced in St. Kitts, right? So we have Mr. Naim Richardson here with us to tell us more. So first of all, how long have you been in the movie business? Come a little closer.
Honestly, not long. It's our first film together because we co-wrote, co-directed, co-starred in it. We did this over the course of...
The mic a little closer to your mouth.
Oh, is this better?
Yes.
We moved over the course of 3 years, but there were breaks in between. So I could say 16 months. Is that a proper estimate for you?
16 months. So tell us, what was the motivation behind this? Because, I don't know many young people who just get up and say, well, listen, I'm going to write a movie and I'm going to produce it. So what went into that process?
Well, the thing with Javid and I have known each other since we're like 4 and so on. And we've always done different creative endeavors. And I vividly remember I was just watching something and then listening to a song, and I was like, I've written books before.
Oh, you have?
So I was like, okay, I know I could try get my writing better, and I want to get into film. I love film. I love analyzing it. He always helps me. So I just messaged him one day. I said, do you think we could make a web series if we tried? And then he said, yeah, sure. And we were on a 8-hour call with 2 of our other friends, made this whole concept. And then around that time, I said, if this series doesn't work, we could make a movie as a backup. And then the movie became the forefront.
It's just wild to me that you said you can make a movie as a backup, because the movie seems to be a bigger project.
It did. But, like, I guess it was easier to me in the sense of, I'm writing one cohesive thing. With the web series, we shot and edited and wrote. I composed 52 songs, wrote 2 potential seasons. Like, it was a lot. So I was like, if we do this movie as a backup, I'm just letting you know I'm going to try lessen the scale. But when it became the forefront, I said, hey, this is what we're pushing. So let's just keep going. 78 rewrites of the script later, and it comes out. What today is Wednesday? So it comes out tomorrow, and it's only there for 2 days right now. Hopefully, we'll see if we can get it in longer. But Thursday and Friday, 7 p.m.
At the Caribbean Cinemas. So tell us about the movie, because people are going to see the movie not just because it's locally produced, locally written, all of that, but what are we going to see?
Well, both of us love action, so we said let's make an action movie first and foremost. But there's an organization that we decided what would be cool if America has the FBI and all that. With St. Kitts, so not St. Kitts, it's the Caribbean had a group of people, so we called them the CSO, which stands for Caribbean Special Operatives. And we said they're on different islands right now, but this is the St. Kitts group. So these people, we follow them, and I love superheroes, and we love anime and all that. We were like, if we don't get a chance to make another movie, we should probably put what we really want all in one. So I can't give too much away. This is in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anybody who's listening. But like I said, there's a team, and they're going against some villains, and the villains have created a product, this little pill, that makes you get superpowers. I don't want to tell you what the powers are because they're not really that crazy, but just make you get powers, and it's up to them to stop these villains before they distribute this thing and disrupt global power and so on. Because
Okay, so you wrote that script. How did you go about finding people to act in the movie?
A lot of it came from people I've worked with before, trusted, I've acted with before, and I think that was the majority of it. There's just some people who I know I've been acting with for years, and I was like, I'm putting a cameo just for you because you've helped me, you've helped me, and people I trusted. We wanted more and more people, like casting-wise, but we got a lot of no's. Of course, you'll get a lot of no's, especially if it's a new thing. So I just said,
and it's a small society, and people are still kind of shy.
Yeah, which I understood. So I said, I'm going to stick to what I know, which made it a lot easier in contacting and so on. We'll stick to what we know. And the team literally is only 13 people.
Okay.
So we all have done way more than what 13 people should have done, but I appreciate all of them.
Now tell us about the editing process, because filming is one thing. Who films?
We had seven different people in the thing. Rotate. I filmed some. Javid filmed some.
So how did you get the know-how?
How to? Well, with me, I've always loved film. Like, the movie The Prince of Egypt? Which my mother was here. She would tell you I'm not lying. When I was younger, I used to watch the behind the scenes of that movie more than the actual film itself, right? Like, I knew how to pronounce people's names in the credits. That's how I got my vocabulary up and so on. I liked how people make films. I will sit and watch documentaries of the making of a film. I look at films, I'm like, oh, this angle, this, and I like writing. And so, obviously, it's a learning process, but more of it was like, okay, these people do this. Let me see what this technique is called. Let me learn. I had no real teachers. Most of it is, 90% of it is self-taught. There's some people with Mr. Beyond Bass, Stephen Smith. They told me some tips, but most of it is a self-taught. And your question on editing, I edited the entire thing. And my friend who's in Morocco right now, he helped oversee some parts, and Javid also helped oversee some parts, and Shernia Henry as well. But I was the main editor for the entire thing.
Awesome. That's absolutely amazing. What about equipment? Because I would imagine you need a lot of equipment.
Well, like I said, since we got a lot of no's, not just in acting, but like just help in general. So most of it was done with whatever we had. We had a camera for a little bit, then another camera. Then those two, they were old. So I got my iPhone and I said, look, it's not going to look great off the phone. I know what I have to tweak, but we're gonna do a lot of it on this, and then like maybe 70% of it was shot on the iPhone with some other cameras in between. And then I did a lot of editing to try make it look like it's not a phone. But we had let's say 4 cameras, 2 microphones that we bought, really small shotgun microphones. The lights were different when we got to nighttime. We had one actual light, a bunch of flashlights, sometimes phone lights if we needed. Literally anything that we could have put our hands on, we tried to use.
So this was really a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
You got it in Caribbean cinemas. Was that a difficult process?
Very tedious, and I would just like to thank the team at Caribbean Cinema St. Kitts because, you know, it's a brand and a branch, so we have to go through. I didn't even know we had to go to Puerto Rico to just get something to run here. That process was just a lot of back and forth. It was a lot of doubt. All recently, up until Monday, I was really worried. I was like, man, we might not be able to do this. But yesterday, checked the test. And like I said, I want to thank the team, especially the St. Kitts people. They helped us out a lot. And everything is working. It's looking good. It's sounding good. It's a tedious process, but that's how it is for your first film. Nobody knows who you are, so why they should really take you on as much. But thankfully, we're here and we're ready.
Any more films in the future?
That's the idea. That's the plan. To those who go to watch the film, I would say stick to. It's not a Marvel movie, so I'm not saying it's like a specific scene. There is something at the end for those who want to see, and there's just 2 scenes like around the end. I do plan to do more. I love doing more. I have a problem, as in I'll write something, finish it, but okay, we're gonna put this out. But I'm also going to think of if I want to do part 2 or something else early on, and then when I get the feedback from everybody, I can tweak because I like planning in advance. So I do want to do a lot of films. This is a passion of mine. So hopefully I do more. My mom, she owns Studio 327. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Okay, it's a film studio there. So what I did was I wanted to not only help my mother studio have content, but I wanted to make what I want to make. So Javed and I created Noir Works, which is just a subdivision of Studio 327. So basically, we get to do what we want over here, and then when we put it out, it's like a collaborative thing. So it's like, here, you have content, and I got to do what I want. So
Fantastic. So invite everyone to come out and see the movie tomorrow night. It's premiering tomorrow night, right? Okay.
So all those listening, please come to Caribbean Cinemas. Tickets are selling all fast. I'll explain that in a bit. But please come to Caribbean Cinemas to watch CSO, Operation Power Trip. You could just say CSO when you arrive there. Both screenings start at 7 p.m. We have tickets live on JAD Events right now, so please go check it in. Like I said, they've been selling out fast, which is an amazing feeling. But if you really want to get there, please, your chances now, because hopefully you have a chance to buy it at the cinema. But if not, they'll be sold out by then. So anyone interested, we have the trailers online, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Tell us your handles.
All at Noir Works, so NOIRWORKS on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to go on YouTube, the Studio 327 Inc., or just type CSO Operation Power Trip, it really should pop up. We have the trailers, we did some marketing, posters, everything. So anyone interested, they can go take a look.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you for
and
having
speaking
me.
with us this morning. And we look forward to hearing more about Noir Works. We look forward to hearing more about the movie. And, of course, when you make your second movie, be sure to contact us because we'll want to have you back.
All right, no problem. I'll make sure of it. Thank you.
Okay.
Sometimes discouraged, but not defeated. Cast down, but not destroyed. There are times I don't understand, but I believe it's turning around for me. I've had struggle and disappointment. There are times I felt so alone. Some of my friends, they let me down, but I still believe it's turning around for me. Around for me. Around for me. Around for me. It's turning around. It's turning around for me. 'Cause I can see the breaking. I can see the breaking of day. God is making a way. A change is coming for me. If I stay strong. If I stand strong and believe. There's no reason to doubt. I know He's working it out. And it's turning around. It's turning around for me. This is the good news. It won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning me. And sooner or later, turn in my favor. Sooner or later, turn in my favor. Turn in my favor. Sooner or later, sooner or later, turn in my favor. It's turning around for me. It's turning around. It's turning around for me. 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 It's turning around for me.
It's 8:30 here in the studios of Freedom FM, and as usual, we are so happy to have Dr. Osborne here with us. She's here with us each and every Wednesday. Well, not each and every Wednesday, but you know, she's here with us, and we are happy to have her. I just want to say good morning to Shani, who is always listening. So today's topic, Dr. Osborne, how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing pretty good. It's always good to be here. When I'm not here, it's because truly I cannot be here.
Yes,
There are going
yes,
to
we
be
know.
things that
And everybody, you know,
intervene.
we are.
It's
That is
called
why we're
life.
so thankful that you take time out
The
to be
sacrifice.
here every week, because everybody has lives and things going on, things happening, right?
I left home at 8:04, and I was like, how am I going to make it? The traffic, I'm pushing out. I have to, I'm honking the horn. the garbage collection in my area is happening today, so the truck is right there.
Oh
I
my
have to
God.
wait on the truck so I can pass. And I'm looking at the clock, and I'm trying to rush by.
It's
And,
frustrating, right?
Yes, and I'm saying I need enough time because I have to park in the Sands complex
And
and
walk.
walk over.
Yes.
So this is a thing that we do for you, our listeners, and sometimes people don't understand the level of sacrifice.
Yes,
and
even,
stuff.
even the time in the morning, it's
Yeah,
early.
Yes.
Right? So
And
today's
it calls
topic,
discipline.
yes, today's topic: health benefits of sexual abstinence. Dr. Osborne, why this topic today?
So health benefits of sexual abstinence. It's been coming. I had thought about this a couple weeks ago, but saw several individuals, of course, males, females presenting with vaginal discharge, penile discharge, itching, foul smelling discharge, and clinically that's indicative of sexually transmitted infection. And we know once that goes there, we're going to have a lot of problems. And I said that there are real health benefits, whether physical, psychological, emotional, with abstinence. Most persons usually associate it with religion and religious beliefs, moral beliefs, but there are health benefits associated with it. And that's why we're going to address it today as best as we can.
And I'm happy that you said that, because a lot of times people, especially young people, try to shy away. They tend to shy away from the religious conversation because they feel judged.
Yes.
But if you can bring them health benefits,
yes.
then it's a more scientific, it's a more logical conversation.
Exactly. Because lots of persons aren't raised in like more religious households and stuff. So there are lots of socioeconomic, psychological, emotional, and health benefits associated with abstinence.
Okay. So what are the key facts about unprotected sexual intercourse?
I like that question is asked. So the key facts: unprotected intercourse can lead to so much things, Jamie. And I'm going to give you some data that I myself found a bit shocking. So HIV. We've heard about HIV for many years now, back in the 80s, where it was new and persons associated it with the homosexual community, things like that. But 1.3 million persons acquired HIV in 2023. That's the latest statistics. All right? It came from a peak in 1995 where there was 3.3 million persons diagnosed that year.
Wow.
There's somewhat been a decline. So there's been a 60% decrease in new infections since 1995 because of awareness, promotional activities, everything surrounding it. But it's still there. So we know that girls and women account for 44% of all new HIV infections in 2023. Remember, I said in 2023 there were 1.3 million new cases. At the end of 2022, there were 39 million persons living with HIV worldwide, Jamie. So deaths associated with HIV was over 630,000 persons died in 2022. So persons still have the virus. Persons are still dying from the virus. And there are about 29.8 million individuals on antiretroviral therapy worldwide today as a result of HIV. So when we talk about STDs, so that's another thing that other STDs that can happen as a result of having unprotected sex. We're talking about gonorrhea, we're talking about chlamydia, trichomoniasis, we're talking about the different things. You've got herpes, you have viral hepatitis. So we know globally that there's an estimated 374 million new sexually transmitted infections happen each year. And so in the United States, the Center for Disease Control gave an estimation that they had about yearly 2.5 million cases of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis annually. All of these are sexually transmitted diseases. And a broader estimate suggests that 20 million new cases of STDs or STIs occur in the United States each year. Another thing that can happen with unprotected sex: unplanned pregnancy. So let me give you some data on that. Approximately 121 million unintended pregnancies occur each year worldwide, according to the United Nations Population Fund. And this represents about half of all pregnancies globally. So we're talking about unintended pregnancies. Then there is abortion, which results from having unprotected intercourse. According to the World Health Organization, every year in the world there are around 73 million induced abortion, and it corresponds to about 200,000 each day.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot of persons. In the United States, nearly 30% of all pregnancies are unintended, and about 40% of that 30% are terminated by in abortions, which represent about 1,500 to 2,500 abortions per day. And nearly 20% of all pregnancies in the United States, and we're not talking about spontaneous miscarriage, ends in abortion. And the CDC said that 629,000 plus abortions occurred in 2019. And other studies talk about the same thing. So these are some of the things that happen as a result of unprotected sex. And all of these are health related.
I know that the data, because we're not really good at compiling data in the Caribbean.
Locally, yes.
So I know that the data is focused on the U.S., but do you think there's a comparison that can be made here?
Yes, typically when we have any data studies, so we're very limited in that, and we need to make more emphasis on having and collecting all data. It tends to trend in terms of the rates. The rates often are quite similar, all right?
And when you think about something like abortion, it'll be difficult to have data surrounding that because it's still illegal.
Yes, on the books it is still illegal.
Yeah, so
yes, but it happens.
Nobody is really
collecting
that
You
information.
get a pill, you take it, you stay at home, and it happens. You're so correct. That's an important fact.
Okay. So what are some of the health complications of STIs?
So we're talking about the complication of STIs, and I'm glad that you mentioned it because there are lots of things. People think that, oh, I get a STI and
you
I
take
could
a
just
pill, you take some medication,
and I resolve
and
it.
some people don't even go to the doctor.
Oftentimes they don't because they're embarrassed and they're thinking that they can treat it themselves and hoping wishfully that it can just go away on its own. So they can lead to long-term health problems, Jamie. Pelvic inflammatory disease. When I say that, I mean you can have infections, chronic infections in your womb, in your cervix, cervicitis. You can have infections that affect the tubes. We call them the fallopian tubes, salpingitis, chronic infections, the abscesses forming, and it can lead to severe complications. This often can lead to scarring and infertility in women. So think about it. You have your youthful years, you're doing as you feel, you think that you're sowing wild oats, and you could settle down later. So now you're 32, you think you're ready to get married, and then the complications are there, and you're unable to have a family. And you do not recognize that it happened or it's associated with the choices that you made many years ago. We're talking about ectopic pregnancy as well. It's a complication. What is essentially an ectopic pregnancy? When the reproduction occurs, the sperm and the egg get together, they form that embryo. Correctly, it should be deposited in the inner lining of the womb or the uterus. But when it happens outside of that normal area, it's an ectopic, so it's extra or external to where it should be. Oftentimes it happens in those fallopian tubes and it creates lots of health problems. It's a surgical emergency actually. The tube ruptures, the person is bleeding internally, and we've lost persons as a result of that. Why does that happen? Because with untreated STIs, the person can then have lots of scarring and they can have chronic inflammation and stuff in the tubes and create a whole sort of problem. You have cervical cancer. How many times we've spoken about the HPV virus that can lead to cervical cancer? That occurs from unprotected sex. All right, so that contact can create these issues. And so you've got the herpes, you've got the gonorrhea, you've got the syphilis that can lead to all sorts of neurological problems if they're not addressed. Mother to child infection.
Neurological.
Yes.
Brain.
Jamie.
Just wanted to
yeah, I'm
highlight
sorry.
that.
Brain complication.
So this can affect your brain.
Yes, especially syphilis unattended. There could be mother to child transmission. So you're happy, you're pregnant finally, you think you're having a healthy baby, and it can result in a stillbirth. It can result, yes, so you lose the baby. After 9 months, imagine you delivering a baby that is unalive, that is not with you anymore. The heartache, the hurt that happens. The baby can die soon after too as a result of complication. The baby can be premature and have to be in the NICU or the neonatal ICU for babies and have long-term complications with a low birth weight. You can have infections in the eyes of some of the babies called conjunctivitis as a result of these STIs. And you can have deformations congenitally. So your baby can be born deformed with certain lifelong complications as a result of this. So all of it ties into your health.
That's serious, very serious. What are the benefits of sexual intercourse?
I throw that in there so that we can get it out of the way, because persons are going to say, oh, but there are benefits. And so studies suggest that there are benefits in having sex, such as it lowers your blood pressure, it improves your immune system, unless you're unprotected and you have a disease.
Exactly.
Yes. It lowers your risk of cardiovascular diseases, Jamie, like heart disease and diseases of the blood vessels. So it decreases your risk of having heart attacks. It decreases, in some instances, depression and anxiety. It helps to increase your happy mood, increase your libido. So because of those endorphins and the dopamine rush, and it can help you sleep better. All right? So just to make sure that we know that. But once it's in a safe, healthy, dynamic environment, there are benefits in having sexual intercourse. And of course, you want to reproduce when you choose to.
Definitely. Definitely. So what is sexual abstinence?
So we've been talking about sexual abstinence, and several persons would ask, what does that mean? So it is the practice of restraining oneself from indulging in sexual activities, all right? And certain persons see it different way, but some persons, absolute abstinence, meaning that you're not having any kind of contact, any sort of petting, even any sort of kissing before you are married to that individual, or you've taken that relationship to a whole new level where you have that level of understanding.
So why do people choose sexual abstinence?
For many reasons, and these are some of the benefits of it. So why would persons choose to refrain from indulging in sexual activities? You're just not ready yet. Imagine us at 16 and 17 in high school. We're just not ready. Oftentimes, we do not realize the body as well is not fully developed. The vagina is not fully developed. Hence, you can have severe trauma and even psychological impact when you start having sexual intercourse too early. So you're sexually incompatible with the person. I'm starting to date this young man, but I realize that we're not really hitting it off, so we just decide, okay, let's slow down because I don't know where this is going to go, so you don't want to rush into anything. You're waiting for the right partner. That's even so important because, Jamie, oftentimes studies show that once you get involved with a sexual relationship, it clouds your judgment. A relationship that should have ended within 6 months extends to many years just because you've added that layer and then you've bonded like that, where you and both individuals can tell that there is no compatibility. So what happens if you wait before having intimacy, then psychologically you can be sure of where this is going. So you want to make sure you can enjoy your partner without having to think about sex. Oftentimes, when persons are involved in sexual intimacy, they do not get a time to have heart-to-heart discussion because when they get together, it's that physical part. So you need to be able to understand, get deep in conversation, explore different topics with your partner so the relationship is not just superficial. Because then when it's said and done, oftentimes people reflect, I didn't really know him. I didn't really know her.
I didn't really like him.
I didn't really like him so much.
Because there are times where you fall for somebody, but it's just a physical attraction. But when you really think about it, it's like, but that is the... When you think about their ways and that kind of thing, you're like, but I don't really like that.
You're so correct. And so if you were to eliminate that sexual intercourse, you can figure that out, that we're not really in
Compatible.
sync. We're not
Yeah.
really compatible at that time. So some persons also, it's beneficial, you want to focus on your career and your studies. One of an individual said that she and her daughter spoke and told her daughter that not to date in her first year of university. Because oftentimes it is said that it can be the downfall, because you go to university, your first year, you're newbie, you're freshman, you're getting involved with a relationship, you're not focused on your school work, you're not settled down as yet, learning the nuances of university, and that can distract you from your career, from your education. So you want to focus on that, so some persons leave that. And importantly, some persons, Christians, or different religious belief, and morally and religious reasons, they decide it's best to wait, and that too is another reason. And so you just often people don't feel that there's a connection, so why have intimacy and ruin something or add to another problems if there's no connection? And there's sexual anxiety as well too, sexual performance anxiety. So persons say, I'm just going to wait because I don't want to get involved in this, I'm nervous, I'm not feeling it, I don't want to be uncomfortable, I don't want to be rushed into anything. So those are reasons that persons may want to wait overall.
I think we've already touched on some of the benefits, but what are the benefits of sexual abstinence?
So we're talking about overall, those are some of the psychological stuff, but we have health benefits that we need to focus on oftentimes. Think about it, Jamie. You want to make sure you have no risk of having all the sexually transmitted disease that we mentioned. So you've eliminated that. And not only we're talking about intercourse, you've got to be careful, because that's why we talk about complete abstinence. You don't want to have any oral intimacy, because you can have infections as well if you do that. So we've got to be careful of that.
And it can lead to throat cancer.
Yes, so correct about that. So if you do not have any intimacy, you have no fears about having sexually transmitted disease. So that's a burden less you have to worry about. You can go about your day, enjoy your friends, enjoy your career, build your self-esteem, build your finances, and you're doing well. It reduces your chance of developing UTIs. What happens?
We've spoken about UTIs.
We've spoken about UTIs where there's an infection. Bacteria gets into the urinary tract. It happens more in women because of the anatomy. So when that friction is going on during intimacy, you can introduce bacteria into the urethra, and it climbs up the wall, and then it can infect the bladder, infect the kidneys, stuff like that. What about you can have bruises and laceration during these intimacies, and that increases your risk of what? Having transmitted diseases. Once you break that skin, that mucosa that is so delicate and soft there's an increased risk of having cross-contamination. And we talk about the performance anxiety. We talk about different things. Risk of sexsomnia. I had never heard this word before.
Yes.
No risk of sexsomnia. So sexsomnia is defined as a sleeping disorder in which a person performs sexual activity when they're sleeping. So it often increases level of stress, mental disorder, sex addiction. All right? So I do not have too much details on that, but I learned this word recently, sexsomnia, like insomnia. So I guess you have pent up whatever sexual thoughts, and in your sleep, I think you start touching yourself, getting anxious about it, having lots of thoughts. I guess it leads to you being unable to sleep as well because it's on your mind. So they're saying in the studies that you can reduce that by having complete abstinence, Jamie.
Interesting. What about the benefits of abstinence on mental health?
We've touched it essentially. Sexual addiction. When I was little, nothing was called sexual addiction so much. It was being promiscuous. But it is well documented that persons can have these compulsive sexual behaviors, have sexual thoughts that
People
might
actually
affect
go
them.
to rehab for these things.
Yes. And what
It's
happens?
a real disorder.
It's a real disorder. And then it affects you what? Financially. Because then you're paying all these...
Prostitutes.
Yes, you're connecting to all these porn sites that you have to pay and all these different things. You're not able to function at work. You're distracted. Persons lose their job. And so it creates a whole lot of mental instability. And if you abstain, Jamie, your future self would thank you for it. What happens if you never have sexual intercourse until you're married? So you're now in a healthy relationship. You don't have to think about any past diseases. You don't have to think about all the complications of infertility, the likelihood of you having cervical cancer because you've had multiple partners in the past. You don't have to think about the fact that you may have had chronic inflammatory disease, pelvic disease, and so then you're unable to have pregnancy, a healthy baby. So your future self will be grateful for that, and you'll have better intimacy. Why as well too? And this is psychological, it's not just moral. You don't compare your partner now, say your wife or your husband, with other persons in the past, and that would be unfair as well too. So that's part of the psychological thing. So you can focus on being mentally well, focus on your goals, be career oriented. That's all important. So overall, it helps to improve your mental health and wellness.
Are there any drawbacks to abstinence?
I had to look for that one because I know somebody would want to think that. Are there any drawbacks? Essentially, no, there's no real serious drawbacks. Remember, we said the benefits of having sex was that you can decrease some of depression, anxiety, decrease your risk of cardiovascular disease. But you can also do that with exercise as well, too. All right? So that really doesn't change anything at all. The health benefits outweigh any drawback. Psychologically, sociologically, physiologically, health-wise, there is very little drawback to waiting. And it's very important that our young boys and girls not get involved in sexual intercourse too early. Your body is still developing physically. Your frontal lobe and your rational reasoning is still not there as yet. And then you tend to make some decisions that can affect you for the rest of your life.
Okay.
It seemed a little bit heavy.
Yeah, well, it is information that we need to speak about because, especially as it relates to the STIs, people don't really take them seriously. Now, this past weekend, there was an event, and there were many, I'm trying to look for a way to say this diplomatically, but there were many people speaking about, how people the smell of certain people at the events, right?
Okay.
And in my mind, some of this could be related to sexually transmitted infections that have not been treated. Sometimes people don't even understand that they have an infection.
Correct.
Right? So these are serious things. And I often say that St. Kitts is so small. Because I've had Dr. Offrey and the nurse Vaughn here before. St. Kitts is so small, so everybody's kind of commingling with everybody, right? So you have to be careful.
This just came back to my mind. I remember many years ago when I was younger, I read this thing, and it always stuck with me. You're not just having intimacy or sleeping with the person you're currently with. You're sleeping with everybody that person would have slept with before. So that's a party
And
talk.
they're still sleeping with
And then who they have been sleeping with. So then that creates, think about this web, this large, extensive web that creates. And so you are passing on different things to different. Some persons get lucky and they do not get an STI. But oftentimes, and one of the most feared is HIV. Some persons are even saying, oh, because there's treatment and the retroviral treatment and you're living so much longer now.
So there's this flippant attitude.
Yes, this flippant attitude.
But
there's still lots of debt. Remember, the data showed over 630,000 plus persons die each year as a result of HIV or AIDS-related complications. So it is still best to protect yourself. And we weren't talking about protection per se, but we're speaking about abstinence. But if you're going to have intimacy, it's best to use a condom, though not 100%. So we still want to ensure that persons do that. Because persons are also thinking that, I've heard lots of discussion, it changes how everything feels, and everybody's saying or assuming that the other person is healthy when you do not know for sure. You cannot vouch for anyone.
Definitely. When I was in school as a teenager, we were kind of bombarded with images of people who had sexually transmitted infections, HIV, of, rashes, sores, all kind of things. So I think it was kind of scary for us. But having a teenage daughter who just completed high school, while she did not go to a public high school, so I can't vouch for what happened there, the information that she was given was not the same. As a matter of fact, she wasn't given any information.
So they don't do this family life sessions
they
anymore?
do Christian living, and they tell you to abstain, right?
Okay.
But it's not as in-depth as
yes
I did when I was in school, and the fear that was put in you about sexually transmitted diseases, it wasn't like that. So I find a lot of the younger people, 19, 20, 21, they don't really have that fear. They're just out there living their life.
I guess we haven't pushed enough of the education and letting people know the data itself, because you can't fight scientific data no matter how you try, because these are the facts. So what keeps happening is that people are not having this discussion. They're tabooed at times. I don't know how much they're discussed in the high schools, to the young upcoming adults, the teenagers, and these things need to be discussed, because the health repercussion lasts for a lifetime. You're now 35 and you're unable to have a baby, and then what happens, Jamie? Think about it. The psychological stress and pressure. Your partner is now discouraged. The relationship takes a nosedive. You start having conflict. Then there's somebody seek to go out elsewhere. If you can't give me a baby, I'm going to seek it elsewhere. And all of these are the health complications from when you were 18, 19, when you made those decisions without the knowledge. So I would encourage us in the communities and in the schools, because there's so many doctors around. You can call some of the healthcare practitioners, the family practitioners, anyone, to have these talks in the high schools, in the different classrooms, so we emphasize the health benefit of abstinence. I know there's a group who push the religious abstinence, but we want to focus also on the health benefits, so that we're giving you information so you make a logical choice and not just out of fear. We know the religious part is
but
there,
the fear is important.
Yeah.
The fear is important as well. But Dr. Osborne, thank you so much for bringing this topic. And you won't be here next week. We're going to miss you, but we'll have a rebroadcast of a previous program. So we look forward to when you can join us in person again.
Thank you so much, Jamie, and I want to wish everybody a beautiful day and to be kind to each other. Bye-bye.
This is how we're going to end SKN today. For this morning, coming up next, we have Sugar Bowl with the Morning Express.